Hello guys, it's Dark here with another video for you guys. In this video I'm going to be explaining how Final Fantasy XIV mining kind of blew my mind because of how good it was and the way they approached the profession in comparison to World of Warcraft, and I want to provide the reasoning behind it and just basically show you guys a comparison. And the most interesting thing to me is that by just looking at the way that they've designed the mining and the other aspects of the game, it seems like the developers for Final Fantasy XIV are actually listening to the feedback of WoW players more than Blizzard is actually. And that to me is amazing, and kudos to them. I think literally at one point when I was doing the mining in Final Fantasy XIV, I was actually literally clapping for them. Which is kind of sad, but I was just impressed by the work they did, so they deserve the clap. So before we get into Final Fantasy XIV, because I know there are Final Fantasy XIV players who watch these videos, I just want to show you guys how mining works in World of Warcraft. Basically, you go to your trainer and you learn mining, and once you do that, you have to buy a mining pick from a vendor, and then you put it in your bags, and that's pretty much it. You go out throughout the world and you try to find nodes, and you can see it on the map here. It kind of shows on the map as these yellow dots, and you go towards them. Let me see if I can find this one. Yeah, so you go towards them and you right click on it, and basically you wait and you get the basic ores. Now sometimes and you have a mining skill level that goes up. So right now mine is at 62, and you get the ores, and sometimes you get some other things accompanying the ore with some random chance. And that pretty much sums it up. That's all you do. You go, different continents have different kind of nodes with different ores, and you kind of have to find what nodes you have in each continent by googling it, and figuring it out, and googling where they actually spawn the most and find the optimal path and stuff like that. Or you have to download specific add-ons that do that. But that pretty much sums up the experience in World of Warcraft. On the other hand, now let's look at Final Fantasy and how they approach it. So in Final Fantasy, the idea is the same. You have to go to a trainer and you learn the mining profession, and from there, I would say that's only the only similar thing between the two games. At that point, you do get a mining pick, but you also it's not only the mining pick that you need to equip, you also get like all the other things like chests or pants and stuff like that, gloves, and each of them give you give you an increase in your mining abilities. So whether that be gathering, where it increases your chances of gathering a specific element, or something called perception, which kind of increases the quality of the material that you gain. And so in that sense, it's much more involved, where you have to, the gear you actually wear for the profession is actually important. And each 5 levels that you get as a miner is also, you get a specific quest related to your profession, which is kind of cool. It gives that progressive element to it. And each of them involves gathering a certain amount of a specific ore. One cool aspect of that I found in Final Fantasy XIV is the gathering log, which you have, and you can, once you open it, you can see where it has what elements, where you can mine a specific thing that you want, and it tells you exactly where to go, what continent and what area to actually look for it. And I think that's awesome. It makes you stay in the game. You don't need to get an add-on. You don't need to go search Google for it. It's all there in the game. And I think that's just awesome. One criticism that has always been to World of Warcraft, and this is why I think Final Fantasy developers are listening and are learning, which is great, is that World of Warcraft was always kind of complaining about the randomness of a lot of things in the game, and maybe making a better system where, you know, if people want to actually farm something, or they want to do, you know, aim their character, train their character in a specific manner, it's possible. And the mining system in Final Fantasy does exactly that. So on, for example, with your gear, you can focus on, for example, getting more perception, where you want to get more higher quality of a certain element, or maybe you want to focus more on increasing the chances of getting the actual element when you're mining. So you can actually put your focus there and not worry about everything else, and it kind of removes the randomness is there, but you have control over it, which I think is really awesome. So I want to actually take you guys through the process of mining a node to show you what it involves. So here, if you look, I'm going to open my gathering log, and let's say I want to actually go and farm, and you can see we have all the different things that you can find as a farm as a miner, right? So let's say I want to actually go farm raw malachite, right? And I basically open my gathering log, I look at this, it tells me it's in dry bone, and I can actually click on it, and you can see on the map it shows me where I can find these minerals. So the next thing I can kind of do is I need to put on the gear I have as for a miner. So when you want to actually mine or do any specific profession, you need to put the gear for that on for you to change. So I'm going to go to my character. I have the gear set here, so I can just equip it. And now I change from a paladin to a miner. And you can see that even all my skills changed, right? So I don't have the actual skills of a paladin anymore. I have everything that's associated to mining. And the skills are actually quite cool, and I can show you guys what they do. But basically one of them is prospect, where it allows me to it is similar to turning on finding nodes in World of Warcraft. It allows you to find the deposits on the map, and the rest of them are interesting ones as well. Like when you the lay of the land ability helps me locate nodes, even if I'm not seeing anything on the map. So if I press 2 right now, let's see, you see how on the map it's an element is shining that there are nodes over there. So I'm never going anywhere blindly in hope of finding a node. And each of these abilities either have a cooldown or they cost something called GP, and so you can't just spam them, and you have to use them wisely. And there are other abilities which I will showcase. One specific one I want to show you guys is the sneak ability. So one of the annoying things in WoW is when you actually go to mine a node and some NPC comes and attacks you, right? It's annoying, you get interrupted. So this sneak ability basically makes it so that enemies your own level or 4 levels above you won't attack you. So you're kind of sneaking around them and farming. So this makes farming a lot more simpler and less annoying. It's just something I wanted to share because it's something that's annoying in World of Warcraft, and that's why I'm saying I think Final Fantasy developers are taking note from a lot of the feedback from WoW players. So let's go to a node and actually showcase how the farming works. So as you can see in the map, you find a mineral deposit, you go all the way down, and let's try farming. So this is how the deposits look like. They're actually built into the wall, into the rocks, and you basically right click on it and this interface comes up, and you can see this is the cool thing about which I was talking about. There is deterministic randomness in Final Fantasy XIV. You kind of know you know exactly what you're going to be farming. So you can either aim for a raw fluorite or malachite or fire shard or an alumine, and you have the percentage of how likely it is that you're going to be able to get one of, when you actually attempt, you're going to be able to get one of these. So You can see the mineral deposit right now, it's at full health. If I click this once, it's going to attempt to take one node, and I was able to get a pinch of alumine, and the HP of the mineral deposit went down a little bit. Okay, so that's what the 100% means, and this again depends on your level and the stats you have on your gear. So if I show you the gear, like this specific hat gives me perception, which increases the chance of me being able to get, so this is here, affects the rate at which you get high quality items. Then you have gathering, which affects the rate at which items are gathered, right? So you have these two, and maybe there's more as we go, I don't know, I'm only level 25, but it was so amazing, I kind of want to share this with the WoW community. And it's the same thing for all the other gears, right? So this one gives me gathering and perception. Craftsmanship and control, I think, are for other professions, but I think you guys get the idea. So that's basically what that means. That 15% you see in the bottom is the chance of me able to get a high quality alumine rather than the normal alumine. So I can, and this is where all these abilities come into play. So for example, if I want to show you, like if I use this ability, it's going to cost me 100 GP, but it's going to increase my chances of getting high quality items by 10%. So if this is 15% right now, when I use this ability, it'll become 25%. And you can see that the percentage changed, and my GP went down 100. This kind of refills with time as well. And now if I try to take this, I may get a high quality item, which I didn't. And each time I attempt to mine, I get experience and my level increases. You can also, what you can do is you can press enable quick gathering if you don't want to try to get different things the 5 times that you're mining. Then it'll just do you know, it will do everything automatically for you. And I think it's amazing, right? I mean, the fact that there's a few things which are really cool about it. One, it's much more engaging with all the gear and everything, and I like the way that you can kind of optimize your gear and your character in a way to aim for something specific, like higher quality or more items. And I find that that's really cool. I also like that I don't have to just go outside of the game to Google or get an add-on to know where all the different minerals are. I found that extremely annoying in World of Warcraft. I like the sneak ability. I like all these different abilities which helps you optimize your character to do specific things. And yeah, in general, I was really impressed. I didn't think it would be this different, and they would be able to make mining this much more interesting for me. I leveled to 25 in one, and I'm not much of a professions guy, but I just found it so interesting with the quests and the way everything works and the way I can know where to find stuff. It was very impressive. So well done to the Final Fantasy development team, and I hope that World of Warcraft also does the same. The fact that it's a more, it has more experience in the MMORPG genre, with it having, being out since I think 2004, it doesn't get to their heads, and they actually look at other games and the creativity that they put into these things. So with that being said, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for all the support, all the comments, and all the feedback, and I appreciate it. Peace.